Alright guys, welcome aboard. We're going to be taking a nice leisurely flight here from San Francisco over to Orange County, John Wayne Airport in Southern California. There's a little bit of weather up in Northern California here in San Francisco. Had some rain pass through up there. So it should be an interesting departure. We're going to be flying the 737-200, old school here. So we're going to be kind of flying VFR to VFR and then doing a quote vectored approach into Santa Ana. So let's jump in the airplane here and get everything going. We'll get our ground power here on to start. I know that's kind of loud, maybe. We'll see. Had a problem with my microphone. I actually lost a USB port, and I spent the last half an hour trying to figure out what the heck was wrong with my microphone, and it turned out the USB port's dead. So, a little swapping of USB ports, and we're all good to go. Alright, let's get on over here. We'll get our batteries on, emergency exit lighting on, we'll go over to ground power, turn up our lights, and let's get our APU going. Let's take a look at our fuel first. Plenty of fuel for the short hop down to Southern California, so we'll leave it as is. We'll get our position light on and get our APU fired up. Alrighty. And let's see, we'll get our smoking signs on. We'll get our seatbelt signs on. And while that APU is firing up, let me go ahead and show you the route of flight here. So I'll bring up my my other screen here. So here we are, San Francisco up here. We're going to be basically shooting down the coast across Malibu and across LAX actually, and then we'll do some vectoring once we get down to Orange County over here. Get that on the screen for you. There we go. So we're actually going to vector out this way towards Riverside, Chino over here, and then head on in to Santa Ana. I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. It's the day after. It's Black Friday now, and I'm off, so I'm flying. Forget about shopping. Alright, let's get this over to ground power. We'll get our gallery on. I think usually they leave it off until they get up in the air, but whatever. Alright, looks like we got APU power. Let's go ahead and switch over to APU power. Come back up here, go to APU power, and let's get that noisy thing off there. While we're looking at menus, let's do our departure here, 5 flaps. And we'll start switching everything on. So, yaw dampener's on. We'll get all our fuel pumps on, ready for departure here. Come back up here, that all looks good, that looks good, that looks good. Alright, everything down there looks good. We'll get our window heat on. And we'll get our electrical hydraulics on. And let's see, we're going to be going to an altitude of 27,000. I'm just picking it out of thin air. We'll turn our packs on. Get our APU bleed on, start getting some Gasper fan on. I'm guessing that's like trim air. Alright, and we'll look at our pressurization here. We're going to go to, what did I say, 27,000 landing altitude. We'll double check that, but we'll leave that as is. And we'll get our beacon on. Alright, and then we're ready to set things up over here before we do our pushback. So let's see what the weather's like. You know what, I'm going to do this on screen with my my Navi graph, or AviTab, sorry. Right, we'll come over here. I think I've got San Francisco somewhere. That's not what I wanted. Of course, this thing's going slow. Come on. Thought I had a San Francisco chart here. There it is. Alright, there we go. Let's go over to ATIS, which is 113.7 for San Francisco. We'll come down here, 113. Over here. Actually, we can't go that wrong ATIS. What am I doing? 118.85. All right, there we go. We can do that. 118.85.
San Francisco INTL information Foxtrot. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind 120 at 9, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 1700 few, 5500 broken, 7500 overcast, temperature 15, dew point 4. Altimeter 3015. Arriving runways 28 left, 28 right, departing runways 28 left, 28 right, 01 right, 01 left. Advise on initial contact. You have Foxtrot.
Alright, we have Foxtrot, and we got our altimeter set, so we pretty much take off any runway we want. Get rid of that. Let's go over here and just turn up our panel brightness. And let's set a different frequency here. We'll make believe we're going 2000, I think. There we go. Put that on TARA. And actually, you know what? This is the first flight I'm doing with my new graphics card, so we'll see how it's doing. I got a RTX brand new 2070. I splurged. Figured I'd pick that up, see how it does. You know, unfortunately, I get a boost in my FPS here, and it looks really nice. I'm able to increase my details just for the heck of it. I'll show you my graphics setting that I'm using. So this is what I'm using. Got high on the visual textures. I bumped that up high. Anti-aliasing down low. World objects I've got set to high. And that's really what the graphics card is letting me do. Let me see what this thing says. Impacts your CPU. I don't know. Well, I can tell you right now with the graphics card, I put this on the high setting, and it works good. No reflections. Got my VSync off. And I'm seeing really good frame rates, meaning better than, say, 25 or something. Right now in San Francisco here, we're probably getting about 25, 27 or something like that. And that's because of all the weather and the ortho and everything else. There's like a million things that go into your FPS, but when I'm flying with like just general clouds and up in the air, out, depending on where I'm at and what kind of ortho I have, I can get upwards of 50 FPS, which is real nice. Okay, so we've got our ATIS set. Let's see, we got to plan our departure. So let me go ahead, and I think we're just going to go 28. Right? Let's jump out of the airplane here. You can see where we are. And I think we're just going to take our standard departure out of here, which is 28 left, right there. You can see our wind. Well, we got a little bit of a wind, a little bit of a tailwind there. Looking at the wind socks, maybe we'll go over to the other side. That'll actually be better for us. So we will take, yeah, we'll come over here since we've got that tailwind. We'll take 10 right for a departure. I don't think I've ever departed out of there, so I got to take a good look at my taxi route here. Where are we? We are down there. So we'll taxi around all the way down to there, and over to the end of the runway right there. All right, cool. Jump back inside. Let's do our pushback. All right, so we're gonna push back right to over here.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
All right, we're ready.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Alright, here's our tow. Let's go ahead and hit our parking brake. That'll get our auto gate moving out of the way here. Let's set our altitude here. We said we're going to be going at 27,000. Turn our flight director on, or at least get our, go to heading hold, and then Bump that up. I usually bump that up right about there, so right about to the 10-degree mark as a reference.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
We'll let him connect up. Get a couple more things set here. We got our weather radar. We'll set that for 40. And we can also take a look while he's going to get us pushing back. Let me zoom out here. So we're going to set... We'll set our first VOR here. I'm taking a look at my other map too. Let's see, we are going to go to... The first VOR is, I think, Salinas right here. There it is. Alright, so 119.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, we'll do that in a second. Salinas 117.3, so let's go ahead and set that for our first VOR. Make sure 117.3. There we go. And then our next one, we're just going to fly all the way down the coastline, pretty much just keeping checks on where we're going, and we're all going to go to the San Marcos VOR, which is just outside of Santa Barbara, and that is 114. I'm looking at my other screen, 114.9. So if I zoom out, well, it won't zoom out because this is San Francisco, so it doesn't go all the way down there. So 114.9, we'll set that in number 2. Alright, and that's active, and looking good. Alright, let's release our parking brake, get our pushback going. And I do that.
Pushback, and you may start engines.
I do that with a key. So my parking brake should be down. Yes, it is. Click over here, and we'll set our trim for takeoff. Alright, let's turn our packs off and get number 2 started. Go over to ground. We'll come over here, watch our N2 spool up to about 20, and then we'll introduce fuel down here. Alright, got a good start on number 2. Let's go ahead and fire up number 1 while he gets us into our taxi position. And just waiting for N2 to spool up to about 20. There we go, introduce fuel.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alright, parking brake is set, so now
disconnecting tow. Stand by.
At our first route here, it should be roughly, our first heading's going to be about 133, so I'm going to go ahead and set that right here for VOR1. We'll also set that for our heading hold here. We'll let him disconnect. And while we got our parking brake on, just gonna double check my throttles are functioning.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Alright, super. Let's go over to ground power. Go over to engine power. Get our packs on. Get our APU bleed off. And let's go over to Gen 2. And get our APU off. You should see the master caution come off here in a second. Or actually it'll stay on because I don't have our pitot heat on yet. So let's go ahead and do that. We're about ready to taxi. Recall looks good. Alright, there he is. Thank you very much, Guy. We'll flash him with our flashlight. Let him get out of here. Alrighty, we're all set. So we're going to taxi to 10 right. Let's go ahead and get our taxi light on. And make sure everything looks good here. Packs are on. Yep. Everything's good there. We got all our lighting on. I guess we could do our logo light. Why not? It's a little foggy out here. Alright, let's see if we can make it to the gate without the gate to the runway, away from the gate. Without getting lost here. Let's do a tower view. We can test everything else in here. Let's go to test on there. As something catches up. Not sure, I didn't see the lights come on, but I don't know if that's working or not. I guess we can test this, right? There we go. All the lights are on and functional. Let's stay on our taxiway here. We're actually going to take the eastern taxiway. So there's kind of two of them that parallel here. This should get us all the way down to the end of the runway. Make sure our passengers have got their window shades up here. There we go. Now we can look out the window. Do a little flight control check. Good. The right one going here. Alright, so let's do a little quick pre-takeoff checklist here. So transponder is on. Flaps are going to be set to 5. Get the flaps going. Hit the brakes here just a little bit. We're going to jump outside, double check our taxi area. Yep, so we'll just we'll go right on to the end here. I forgot what the 8 is set for winds, but let's just double check it for the heck of it.
San Francisco INTL Information Foxtrot. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind 120 at 6, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 1700.
Alright, 120 at 6. Alright, we'll be ready for an immediate departure here. Let's finish our checklist. So engines to start, strobe lights on. We'll hit our landing lights as soon as we get onto the runway here. this one, we can go to that position. Go ahead and get onto the runway here.
Approaching 10 right. On runway 10 right.
Alright, landing lights on. I think we're good for takeoff here. Alright, power up and get on out of here. Alright, takeoff power is set.
Knots. B1, rotate.
Alright, positive brake, gear up. Go ahead and power back just a little bit. Flaps 2. And flaps 1. Throttle back here. Alright, flaps up. Go ahead and engage our elevator autopilot. This looks like a nice rate of climb here. Get our inboard taxi lights off. You can just see it going away right there. Alright, I know that's loud, so I'm going to turn that down a bit. I always like to have the volume up for the departures and arrivals. And we can get our taxi light off also. Alright, not too bad here coming out of San Francisco. Start making our turn over to 133. Matter of fact, what we're going to do is we're going to hit our aileron autopilot there. We'll let that take over. Keep an eye on our airspeed settings, or our power setting here. Just bumping it up, want to start getting a little bit higher airspeed here. As our weather updates again and again. Trying to check all my views here. I forgot where my views are. Pretty cruddy. Let's bring the power up. At least it's not a bumpy departure. Passing 6,000 feet. Let's get our landing gear to the off position. We can turn our engine starters to off. Let's go ahead and get our logo off. Double checking our pressurization here, looking good. going to have an overcast. I think it's at 10,000 or 11,000 feet, so we should pop out of this shortly. Airspeed's looking good. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to indicated airspeed hold. So that should try to hold us at 250 here. So it's going to pitch us down. We'll get a increase in our airspeed. I'm going to bump the power up a little bit here to a climb setting as weather's updating. There we go. We're about 195 right here. Alright, so now it should start pitching us back up and holding 150. That's where my heading bug is, or my airspeed bug is right there. So it should start pitching us up for a decent climb through 10,000 feet. And we are going for 2,000 or 27,000. Alright, passing 10,000, we'll turn the rest of the landing lights off, and we can put our seatbelt signs to auto. Let the folks in the back wander around. It's a nice smooth departure out of here, except for the weather updates here. Down at San Jose. Put that sound down just a little bit more. I've been playing around with kind of flying in different areas to see, you know, since I've got the new graphics card. I'm trying to see what is really limiting FPS here, and I think one of the things that I definitely noticed was, well, two things really limit the FPS, at least in my setup, and that's the amount of weather and or the settings for weather, and the ortho. So when I'm flying with no ortho, FPS is like super, like I said, 50 plus. But what fun is that, unless you're, you know, flying above the clouds? You know, I like to look at things. I like to see all this stuff right here. And I think it's more so the ortho that's causing a lot of the frame rate limitation, let's say. Like, let's see, I think this will give us a frame. Yeah, hitting 29 right here. Generally, it's bouncing around. That's sort of a snapshot in time, I think. But 28, 29 right now, which is not bad. You know, anything above 20 is doable. But you know, you can limit the clouds if you start removing things. It's like with anything else. I mean, you start removing stuff, and you're going to start seeing the FPS go up and down. But I try to stay right at anything 25 or more is what I'm shooting for. So I will add complexity to my sim. You know, like number of world objects, and increase the settings until I'm, you know, someplace above 25. In the most dense spots, like, you know, coming out of San Francisco here, or going into LAX, say, is another big one. So I've been yapping around my video card. Let's go ahead and try to bump our airspeed up here a little bit. So you'll see our climb will kind of stop right here, and we'll start picking up our airspeed. Since we're at 18,000 feet, we'll go ahead and
Altimeter setting.
Yep, go to altimeter setting. We'll set that for standard. Come over here and do the co-pilots. 92. There's some clouds loading. Let's take a look. And why do they keep reloading? That's just annoying as all heck. One of the things I've been playing with is I do have my Ultra Weather XP, and I am using the XP NOAA Weather, which is pulling data real time and doing all the updates. But I almost think it's updating the weather too often. You can see it keeps changing around, and that causes that stutter. I like it, but sometimes it's I don't know. Still playing around with those settings to see how that stuff impacts, because it's constantly updating my weather. And then I love my Ultra Weather XP plug-in here. I wish I had a couple modifications like the cloud color here. See, you almost got to change it like manually. I'll leave it at 90 here since it's kind of daytime. I found that it's almost like it doesn't apply some of the settings until you go in here and actually touch them. For instance, like, there we go again, updating the weather. For instance, this visibility here. So I have it off. I'm going to turn it on right now. We'll see what happens. And then I'm going to turn it off. You can see a little bit of difference in the sky color because it's putting some haze in there. But there we go. There it's on automatic. And then I'm going to leave it off. But I'm going to change this to 0. And let's see what else. Light power, I always like to have that kind of high. Otherwise, all the other stuff seems to work. So, a little quirky there, just a tad. Let's see what our FPS is like now. See, we're hitting 35 now. What's up here? Alright, so it looks like we are still 19 miles out of Salinas. There we are. Let me zoom out here a little bit. And we're not on VOR, we're just on heading, so we're actually going to pass it. This is the VOR right here. But we're going to kind of pick up a heading going out of it. Let's see, generally in the direction, let's see what our heading is here. I'm looking at my other chart. And we'll just kind of eyeball it. I mean, our general heading is good right now anyway. We are picking up our next VOR, which was all the way down in Santa Barbara, so I might just go direct to that. As a matter of fact, that's what I think I'm going to do here. So let's jump in here. We'll go ahead and switch over. That's 114.9. And we'll swap that over. Clicked it twice. And you can see we're generally heading in that direction. So let's go ahead and center that. And we'll go over to VOR lock, so that'll turn to intercept that. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to disable that plugin just to see the weather update, and then disable it. Okay, and it runs as a Python script. That's why that's where that plugin is enabled and disabled. So we'll see if that lessens the updates on the weather. Don't mind the flickering clouds. That is an X-Plane 11 thing, not any plugin that I have. Discover that. Alright, so we are on our way to, well, we'll call it Santa Barbara. I forgot what the actual VOR name is. San Marcos. San Marcos. Alright. We're almost up at our flight altitude here. I'm going to go ahead and let this capture, once we get the altitude, it should just flip over from indicated airspeed to altitude hold. We're currently holding 270. I think we got 8,000 feet to go. Let's hit a little bit of music here. Turn down the airplane noise. Alright, looks like we captured our altitude. We're going to start speeding up now. And yeah, you can see our little lever or knob here flipped over to altitude hold. So we are at altitude. Let's go ahead and bring our strobes off. Double check our lighting here. So position lights are on, anti-collision are on, everything else off. Turn down some of that wind noise. You can hear our music. And we should lose most of these clouds going down into LA area. So the last thing we got to do is just watch our airspeed here. It looks good. Set our cruise power setting, which I think is someplace around 188, 187. There we go. We'll leave it right there. We'll shoot for an even 185. Alright, we're at cruise. Looking good. We're 136 miles out. We never turned on our weather radar. We'll put that on. Alright, otherwise everything is looking good down here. We can. I was going to think, let's see, we can take a look. Yeah, we still got plenty of time. I was going to take a look at our approach, but we'll do that in a few minutes. Just going to make sure we aren't overpowered here. Watching our airspeed. We're doing a nice 0.77 Mach. Not sure what our ground speed is, or our winds here, but I forgot. You can find that someplace here. I don't remember where. Alright, let's take a look at some of this other stuff here. Yeah, that's all good. Alright, for our landing, we'll be doing a... Where are we going into? Santa Ana, so I'm going to do a 40 flap landing for 122. Keep an eye on that as we get closer. Okay, power back just a little bit more here. You don't want to get too fast here. Just trying to stabilize. That's pretty quick. Our normal cruise is probably someplace around 0.75-ish. So, looking at our power settings here. I'm looking at this number. I've been using this number as just a general gauge of power settings. And then just double checking like the N1 speed here. You can see we are at, what is that, 86% N1. Alright, and it looks like we're pretty stable right here. So at this point, let's see what we can look at. You can look at the California sun rising up here. It's currently 9:24, and it's about the same in the sim time here. Fortunately, it's kind of hazy down there, and not much to look at, so I'll leave you with this view here as I take my break. Let you enjoy the music and the view out the window here. Maybe it starts clearing up. You'll see a little bit more down there. But I will be back in a minute. I'm going to go take a quick water break. Enjoy the view here. Alright guys, back in the cockpit. Now looks like a cloud's maybe clearing up ahead. Looking dark down there. Let's take a look at the map and see where we're at. We are off the chart here, so let's go ahead and bring up the LA chart. Not sure if that covers all the way up here. Yes, it does. Good. Well, just passing, what? Paso Robles. We're actually on an airway, go figure. We are heading all the way down to here. 114.9. And let's get set up for the next switch over. So once we get here, we're going to fly outbound on a heading of, we'll follow this airway right here over to LAX, or the Los Angeles VOR. So it's going to be a heading of 109. I'm going to set that in our heading bug. Alright, and then a few bumps up there, it looks like. We are going to, let me zoom out here a little bit. That takes us over to Camarillo, actually. We'll do that. That'll be, yeah, that's kind of where we want to go anyway. So Camarillo will be our next VOR. 115.8. Let's go ahead and set that up over here. So we'll go 115.8. We'll set that over here on number 2 also. See if we're picking that up yet. Nope, not yet. We just see a DME reading there, because it does have DME. Alright, and then we're going to go over to LAX, which is... There's Santa Monica VOR. We'll do LAX, 113.6. So we'll set that for 113.6, just for reference here. Alright, so we're going to go 114.9, then we switch over to 115.8, then we switch over to 113.6, and then we'll be doing a visual arrival into Santa Ana. So let's actually take a look. I don't know if I have any Santa Ana charts. No, I do not. What else can we look at here? Let's take a look at our weather for Santa Ana. KSNA. We'll get our ATIS turned in here. Where's our ATIS? 126.0. There we go. We'll pick that up, and then let's see what else we got here. We are going to be coming in on the ILS, so we'll set that up as a reference once we get closer. And the weather at Black Friday here, let me double check, make sure the date's fine. Yep. Winds calm, unrestricted viz, scattered at 2200, broken 3200. Got a little bit of marine layer still there. We had a front that passed through here over the Thanksgiving Eve. So there's still a little bit of low-level cloudiness here. Looks like a little bit of high clouds. Altimeter 3018. We'll keep a note of that. We'll get that from the ATIS. Once we start picking that up. Alright, let's zoom out here. Take a good look here at our flight plan. There we go. So we're going to come down here to Camarillo. And actually, are we picking that up yet? 114.9. Let's double check that. Yeah, or 115.8 is what we should be going to, right? Or we weren't picking it up yet. Oh yeah, well we are now. So let's swap over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take heading hold is off. I'm going to go to manual, and we're going to switch our VOR so we don't get bounced around here. 115.8. We'll go direct to Camarillo here. I thought we were going to be doing a left turn. So right about there, and now we'll go over to VOR lock. We should start making our turn. We're 59 miles out. See the coastline right there. Below these clouds, we'll see if we clear up at all. Alright, let's bring up this again. Alright, so we're going direct here, and then we're going to go outbound. We'll reset our course. So here's the VOR, and then we're going to go outbound on a course of 093, so let's set that over here. And we got to think about our descent, so we're not really going to start descending until we get over LAX. We're only at 27,000. We might start descending a little bit beforehand, actually. Yeah, we'll once we get over Camarillo, we'll start a descent down to some altitude, and then we're going to head outbound from here. And see, there's our airport right there. There's John Wayne. So we kind of want to go outbound on this radio right here, it looks like. Victor 16076 until we get almost to Chino, and then we'll come back around this way and head inbound. We'll vector ourselves around Disneyland here. Alright, airspeed's still looking good. Let's take a look outside. Hazy day down there. Wonder, see this little cutoff here? The ultra weather plugin. We'll see how this does. Hopefully it doesn't crash the sim. But there's a cutoff here, a void cutoff. This is going to reset our clouds, so get ready. Let's see what happens. It's still a little bit more. I don't know. It's like it's doing it a little bit. Let's go up a little bit more. There we go. I think that eliminates some of the low-level cloudiness kind of thing that's cutting into the mountains. Yeah, I don't see any there. We'll leave it right there. I hate playing around with it because sometimes this is a little buggy, and I don't know. I've had it crash my sim when I did that, and it not necessarily that this is causing the crash, but just maybe everything else going on causing the crash. But we'll leave it like that so we don't get any cutoffs like that. See how that works. Looking good and dark down there. Like I said, it's early morning here in California. 9:40 right now. Let's play around with our cloud colors here. See if we go really bright, and they're all really bright. Go really dark, which isn't too realistic. And I found right about 90 is a nice happy medium there. I know that the developer is working on a new version here, so we'll see what he comes out with, some of the little quirks in ultra weather here, but hey, I'm not complaining. It works real nice, and definitely a nice add-on. Inexpensive. I think it was like 20 bucks or something like that. Alright, 20 miles out of Camarillo, and we're going to be going. What's our heading? What's our heading out of Camarillo? What did I say? 193. Okay, just making sure. Yep, 193. So the weather update is off, so I'm assuming it's going to be using the default weather here. Let's take a look. See, it says clear. Let's go see what's happening here. Alright, it just refreshed. Let's hit OK. Watch, it'll clear up now. Takes a second for it to kind of come back around and refresh the weather. There it goes. And we just got some scattered stuff. Got a little turbulence. Got a little increase in our airspeed also. And we got that horrendous haze down here. Let's see if we can play around with that haze and get rid of some of it. I mean, it's hazy, but it's not that hazy. Let's see, something's updating. Alright, so if we turn that on, we'll let it update. There we go. See, here's where, and you can see it's kind of choking and loading weather and everything else. We turn it off. There we go. See, this is what I mean by it. There's a little bit of quirkiness there. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I don't know if it's a thing with the ultra weather or with that Python script, which we turned off, and it didn't seem to be updating the weather. But yeah, that looks that looks better. You can see the ultra weather does the shadows on the clouds, you know, hitting the ground and whatnot. Looks real nice. All right, let's jump back in here. Let's get ready for our descent because we are 6 miles out. So 5 miles out. I'm going to go ahead and wait till it gets about 4, and then we'll turn our heading here. We'll go to heading hold, which will take us to our outbound course, and then we're going to start our descent. Alright, there's 4. Let's go ahead and go to heading hold. Looking down at Simi Valley here. This is Simi Valley, and someplace down here is the Ronald Reagan Library. It's on a hilltop here. Here, let's look out the window and see if we see it. Might be a little bit closer down here below us. Yeah, I think someplace down there. Anyway, if you're ever in Southern California, real nice spot to go check out a little bit of history. And there's at the Ronald Reagan Museum, or Presidential Library, and they also have a museum, or you know, they have like different displays and things like that, you know, related to obviously Ronald Reagan. They've got Air Force One there. You can go board Air Force One, which looks a lot like this because it was a what was it? It was this 707. And then they also have sort of just like any other museum, they have different displays coming in, you know, so they'll have like, you know, like I think currently they have like, you know, the life of Pompeii, you know, and they have like artifacts from Pompeii and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, nice place to visit. All right, enough chit-chatting here. Let's go ahead and start our descent here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to 12,000 feet. We'll go over to take our altitude hold off, and we're going to go ahead and throttle back. We're actually going to throttle all the way back. And let the speed bleed off here a little bit. And then I'm going to nose over the airplane and get about a 2,000 foot per minute rate of descent in. It should hold it right about there. Let's go ahead and switch this.
1700 Zulu weather. Wind 270 and 48. Visibility 5. Sky conditions 5,500 broken. Temperature 17. Dew point 6. Altimeter 3021. Arriving runway 20 right. Departing runways 20 right. 20 left. Advise on initial contact you have golf.
Alright, I didn't hear the altimeter setting, so I'm going to turn the music off and let that play again.
Orange County, John Wayne Information Golf. 1700 Zulu weather. Wind 270 and 48. Visibility 5. Sky conditions 5,500 broken. Temperature 17. Dew point 6. Altimeter 3021. Arriving runway 20 right.
Alright, 3021.
Right,
Got
20
that.
left. Advise on initial contact.
Alright, 3021. We'll go ahead and set that over here. 3021. We'll wait till we get to 18,000 to set the remainder. And we'll get our strobe lights on. Alright, and our next VOR is going to be Los Angeles at 113.6 or whatever we had set down here. Let's take a look. 113.6. Yep, so let's go ahead and set 113.6 here. Double check our course. I'm looking at the wrong one, am I not? We're not over LA yet. Or are we? Let's take a look at our chart. Yeah, see, we are. Oh, we are. Look at that. My goodness. I'm all over the place. I'm too busy talking about everything, and I didn't realize we kind of flew right by our next arrival there. So let's get. We're on our descent. Let's go ahead and punch in our ILS frequency. Right. So let's come over here. Yep, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to look at airports. Airport. And our ILS frequency is 111.75. Alright, so let's put that in there. We're going to do a visual here. 111.75. And our final approach course was 196. Alright, and are we on heading hold? Yes, we are. Let's get a little bit of situational awareness here. We'll go back to the map. Alright, so not too bad. Coming out over LA, pretty much downtown LA right now. We're heading in our correct direction here. Kind of wanted to be down a little bit farther south, but got too busy yapping. And we're going to head out to about here, and then turn right inbound 096. Yep, just over LA here. Let's see if we can see LAX through the clouds as my views need to catch up here. My goodness, that is slow. LAX someplace in the clouds right there. I think maybe is that part of it. Looks like the coastline. Maybe right over there underneath the engine. Nacelle. Alright. Let's focus in on our on our fly-in here. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit stronger descent here. Come down to about 3,000 or so. Keep an eye on our airspeed. Use a little bit of spoilers just to keep that in check. And let's go ahead and set our altimeter setting. Thank you. 3021. Come over here. 3021. And we're going to 12,000, but we're actually going to go. We're going to go all the way down to 4,000. And we're kind of eyeballing the descent here. And you can see our Chino is just behind the clouds here. This little pass right here. This is the 91 freeway. So we're going to be coming around here and making a right turn here. So we're pretty high for the approach. I'm going to go ahead and bring the spoilers all the way up and start getting slowed down. And we might do a little bit of maneuvering right here just to get ourselves on track. I'm going to get down to about 250. And yes, we are very high here. You can see we've got our localizers now picked up. We're 17 miles out of the localizer, which is someplace down that way. Let's see if we can see Disneyland. Yeah, so this is the 91 freeway, and Disneyland is someplace over here. Our airport is someplace back there. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go off of heading hold. So we're pretty much manual at this point. We do have the autopilot on. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the elevator. We'll keep, or sorry, the aileron. We'll keep the elevator engaged. And as soon as we pass this needle, as soon as we pass our inbound course, we'll do a left 270 degree turn to let us descend down over Chino Hills here. Yeah, that looks great, don't it? We're gonna look at the scenery and probably fly into a mountain here, but the shadows look just so nice. Alright, so there's our approach course. We just blew through it, or went by it. So we're going to go ahead and make a left turn here. I want to be able to look at all the gauges here, so I'm going to adjust my view. We're going down to 4,000 feet, and we're doing a 270 degree turn back to our approach course. Start slowing up the descent here. You can see our airspeed's bleeding off. That's the Chino Airport, I believe, or is it Riverside? Can't remember. Come on, scenery, catch up. Alright, let's get our spoilers down. And we'll get our elevator autopilot off. So we are totally manual right now. Autopilot's off. Alright, and we'll catch an intercept course for our localizer here. Should be pretty close to it as we come around. I'm going to go, well, we're kind of high still. So rolling out here on about a 30 degree intercept. Keep our airspeed in check right there. I'm going to go 1 flaps. Alright, and there's our intercept course right now, so I'm going to go ahead and hit that and go to approach. Come on, catch up. So it should start churning us. It's kind of leveling us a little bit. It should come back. Alright, so I have the elevator. The autopilot is grabbing our approach course there. Kind of sped up a little bit. Let's get slowed down again. And we're going to go to 2,300. We'll engage autopilot. Hold here for the altitude as we blew through it. So let's go to 3,900. Oh no, there we go. We're good. I'm screwing with the autopilot too much. There we go. Okay, we'll set our altitude, and we are on approach. So as soon as our glide slope starts coming in here, which it is right now, the weather's picking up and locking us up. Alright, there we go. We're at 110. Let's go to 5 flaps. We're going to bring the power up here a little bit. There, we should be grabbing our glide slope, which we are. Alright, let's go get some lights on. We'll get our oh, I hate the way that's so slow. There we go, we got our lights on here. Outboard landing lights. Pretty hazy looking down here. Alright, we're 13 miles out. We're gonna go ahead and slow ourselves down. Do a little bit of spoiler here. Get ourselves to about 170. Yeah, winds were I think 270 at something, so got a little bit of a crosswind here. There's 180 spoilers down. Right, we're going to go 10 flaps. Take a look out here. Let's see if we can see Disneyland now in the haze someplace out there. Not sure if I just saw a little glimpse of the runway. We're at 9 miles. Hold our airspeed right at 166, whatever, 170 someplace. Alright, on the glide slope, on the localizer. Alright, we said we were going to do a 40-degree flap landing. Reference speed is 120. And we're at coming up to 2,000 feet. It's 7 miles. Let's turn auto braking to a medium. Kind of a short runway here. Starting to come out of some of the haze here a little bit. Still don't have the airport. Alright, there's 6 miles. Let's go gear down. Flaps 40. Definitely got a nice crosswind here. You can see the airport's off to the side over here. And we should be coming across this freeway. We're coming in sideways. Let's take a look at that. Look at that. Wow. That is a serious crosswind. And there's the runway. Off the side over here. Alright, I'm going to go to autopilot off. Let's go ahead. Yep, autopilot's off. Let's see if we can make this crazy ass crosswind landing here. I don't know what the crosswinds were, but I have to come in like that. I thought it said something crazy, like 41 knots or something. That might have been a mistake or something, but well, all right, we're going to come in sideways. Gear down, flaps down. We're on our airspeed, low on the glide slope. We're going to retrim here. This should be an interesting approach. We'll have to check the winds once we get on the ground here. Talk about crabbing into the wind here. My goodness. I think the ATIS said something weird like 41 knots. I thought I heard it wrong. I thought maybe it was 14 and I just heard it wrong. But no, I'll believe this. We're literally going to land sideways. Alright, we're on the PAPI lights. It's not bumpy, I'm just making corrections here to try to keep us lined up in this crazy crosswind. Really hand flying it here. Alright, airspeed looks good.
Caution, taxiway. Caution, taxiway.
Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and center up our view, because this is going to be nutty. Do some serious kicking over. Whoa, that was not pretty.
Remaining.
Alright, that was beyond crazy. Come on, don't crash me, don't crash! I have got my controls completely opposite. There's some serious nutty wind over here. Alright, I'm going to turn into the wind here just to... Yeah, look at that windsock. That was crazy.
1,000.
Brakes not working. You blew a tire, no kidding. Alright, I love it. You blew a tire. Look, I'm standing still and it's actually bringing me over. And I've got full brake on. Alright, let's hit a parking brake here. Let's see if that holds us. Yeah, you're fired. Hey, listen, in that crosswind? Crazy. Let's take a listen to the ATIS here.
Orange County, John Wayne Information Golf. 1700 Zulu weather. Wind 270 at 48. Visibility 5. Sky condition.
Oop, I shouldn't have done that, should I? Alright, let's take a look at what this thing said. Winds calm. No, I wanna hear what the sim thought it was getting here. Fire up the APU here so we can hear the ATIS.
Orange County, John Wayne Information Golf.
On runway
1700 Zulu
right.
weather. Wind 270 at 48.
40.
Visibility 5. Sky conditions 5500 broken, temperature 17, dew point 6. Altimeter 3021. Arriving runway 20 right, departing runways 20 right, 20 left. Advise on initial contact you have Golf.
We're going to do a replay of that just for the heck of it, because that looked crazy. I want to hear that wind again.
Orange County, John Wayne Information Golf. 1700 Zulu weather. Wind 270 at 48, visibility 5.
48, 48
Sky
knots.
5500 broken, temp.
Alright, let's get rid of that. That was freaking nutty. Let's do a replay. Let's do a replay of that crazy ass landing. We'll do it from the tower view here. Yeah. I'm not sure what tower that's at, but it's not the right one. Turn that down a little bit. I'm going to go to the runway view as soon as we get a little closer here and get the right runway. Come on. There's a flyby. Well, something went nutty with the sim, huh? Hey, a blown tire, I'm gonna live with that. Even though these winds were absolutely bananas. Let's bring that a little bit closer. I want to see this landing. This is like, I'm surprised I didn't rip a wing off, but hey. Like I said, a blown tire, I will buy that. At least I don't have a technical crash. Alright, let's look at this. This is not going to be pretty. I try to kick it over and then drop the wing. And oh yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm not getting any braking. Alright, let's watch it from here. Why does it switch over to this tower view? No, regular plane. Let's back that up. This is beyond nutty. Okay, lesson learned. Pay attention to the ATIS because your flight sim may just have some whacked out weather. Yeah, so I'm going to bring up... We'll pause that right there. Let's bring up the actual weather in the sim. And that is current winds 210 at 4 knots. I have no idea where this sim got 48 knots. .48 knots. Look at that. It's like, what is this thing thinking? Yeah. I should have done a refresh on the weather, but hey, it is what it is. Welcome to Orange County. Till next time, guys. Hope you enjoyed that flight. That was a little different, huh? We'll see. We'll see how it goes next time. But lesson learned: double check your weather. Do not rely on or I guess don't rely on your own hearing there, because I thought I heard something wacky like 40 something, and I thought, oh, it's 14. Yeah, should have knew that crosswind that we were getting, that correction, was wacky. Also, that's probably why it blew us off course. Come to think of it, when we were heading for LAX, and we were like way off from there. So the weather was wacky with us playing with our little weather mod here and turning off the Python script. Oh well. Till next time, guys. I hope you enjoyed that lesson learned here. Take care. Bye.